Hello great people, welcome back to our channel. We're so excited to have you again. This is for me a good news for the Biafrans, based on the fact that the agitation seems to have received global recognition, as the case was being talked about in the United Nations by one of Africa's ex-president. And you get to hear what he has to say about it. We are yet to know what will happen afterward with what he has said, but he has spoken about the agitation. And also in another news, the lawyer of Nnamdi Kanu has finally disclosed what is expected of the federal government to do with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and we are going to see full details of this in a jiffy. But before we do that, if you've not subscribed to our channel, kindly hit the red subscribe button and also the bell icon so that you get notification anytime we publish our videos. Now, according to the news, the South African former president Thabo Mbeki has told the United Nations Security Council that the failure of Nigerians leaders to manage the country's diversity was the root cause of the Biafran crisis. He recalled that the Nigerian government was victorious over secessionists seeking Biafra 50 years ago and announced that they would follow a policy of no victor, no vanquish. It has been reported that Mbeki, who lived in Nigeria for a few years in the late 70s during the anti-apartheid struggle, addressed the UN Apex body on Tuesday. He cited Nigeria among African countries where the failure to deal with diversity was a root cause of conflict, as he blamed the current clashes in Ethiopia Tigray region also on the failure of managing diversity. Looking at the painful example of the ongoing conflict between Ethiopian government and ethnic Tigrayans, Mbeki said this is exactly what Ethiopians need. The former South African leader cited the centrality of failure probably to manage diversity in the conflict in Congo, Burundi, Ivory Coast, and Sudan. He pointed to the 2004 report of the Sierra Leone Truth and Reconciliation Commission, which tells the naked truth that it was as a result of the failure to manage diversity that the country experienced a very costly 11 years war which started in 1991, and there is a similar failure to manage diversity in the violent conflict which has been and is still ongoing in the Cameroon. Meanwhile, in another development, Ejimakor, the counsel for the arrested leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has encouraged the government to be open to negotiations. Making an example of the agitators who were arrested and released after negotiations with their government, Ejimakor said Nelson Mandela of South Africa, Gandhi of India, and Martin Luther King of the United States, US, were released before the government of their countries negotiated with them. He said in a tweet that it is unnatural to negotiate with Kanu while he is still in detention. When a man is in detention and you wish to negotiate with him, the first step you take is to stop resisting every effort being made to release him from detention. That's how they negotiated with Mandela, Gandhi, and Martin Luther King. It's unnatural to negotiate with a man in chains, Ejimakor tweeted. Kanu, who was brought in from Kenya, has been in custody of the Department of State Services, DSS. He is being tried for treason and is expected to appear before Justice Binta Nyako, led Federal Government High Court, sitting in Abuja on October 21st. Meanwhile, the prelate of Methodist Church Nigeria, His Eminent Dr. Samuel Chukwuemeka Kanuche, has urged the President Muhammadu Buhari-led federal government to grant amnesty to secessionists like Sunday Igboho and Kanu. Wow, this is a great one here, talking about negotiation. There are a lot of things that are yet to be uncovered when it comes to the issue of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We've not heard from any quarters yet if they had been moved by the federal government to carry out any form of negotiation with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But based on what his lawyer has said right away, one can deduce the possibility of such happening behind closed doors, because we've not been told anything. But don't forget that on the 21st of October, he will be brought before the law court to kickstart his case, which has been pending for a while now. So I just feel that the issue of handling of diversity, which the former president of South Africa, Mbeki, had disclosed, seems to be very true, because that's why it's wrong for anybody to heap all the blames on this current government, owing to the fact that this whole thing, it's not just starting, it has been, and it was poorly being managed. As at the time that it came up, the most emphatic issue was the case of marginalization. That was the crux of the whole issue, that we have been marginalized, so we have not been treated as a part of this country. And when they say it, nobody really cared. Everybody were like looking at them as possibly miscreants. What do they have to offer? What do they have to say? But unfortunately, that had turned the country to what it is today, where Southeast is a no-go area for Nigerians. People are staying away from Southeast because of the continuous, militarization of the area due to the activities of UGM, activities of different persons there who are, doing whatever they are doing under the aegis of, say, they are part of, the fight for Biafra and all of that. I think it's high time the government look at the issue of, this diversity, because that's the beauty of the country. If we do not exist as one people, the benefits of diversity in culture, in economic ability, in human resources will not be enjoyed by Nigerians. You understand? So I think it's a wake-up call to the federal government. Create a particular committee that will go into negotiate and let them understand a lot of things. Now, for example, one of the steps that have been taken thus far, which for me is a positive one on the part of the lawmaker, is the step of creating a Southeast, economic development unit. You understand? Just like NDDC. Theirs is not Niger Delta. Again, are no more part of Niger Delta, but they are being considered to be Southeast Development Commission. It's a good one. Southwest, the same thing has also been recommended. This is to prove that these people are still part of us as a country. If you keep on being quiet over it, we're going to see the worst. And I'm very hopeful that the country will wake out of this issue of continuous fight amongst ourselves and all of that. Now, looking at what Ejimakor had to say, about negotiation, the federal government have a duty here, and that duty is to meet one-on-one with those who are agitating, both Nnamdi Kanu and those in the diaspora. Meet with them and say, what's the challenge? What can we do that we can still exist as one people? Though right now it's been gotten to, their truth level, considering the fact that so many people have lost their life in the process of getting of this agitation. So many people, a lot has happened, which seems to leave pains in the hearts of so many people, and that's why right now, if you're talking about negotiation, they seems not to really give into it, considering the fact that, they have been wrong seriously. The only negotiation for them that will make a huge difference is if the federal government can accept, to inculcate in their constitution, referendum, whereby they will be given an opportunity to vote on these particular national issues. And for some politicians in the Southeast, they are also scared, because if such happen, based on the number of supports that Agitation has received, they may lose out. And they're not still done with enjoying being a part of Nigeria. So it's a very technical issue that must be dealt with so much understanding and so much experience. I like to leave it there, but go to our comment section. Let's interact. What's your position on what is going on in the Southeast?